Alright, welcome back everybody. This time I have something a bit different from the usual squadron versus squadron matches that I usually post. I had an issue with my microphone before recording the match, and none of my voice was actually recorded, so I'm going to be doing a special post commentary for this video. This match is also a bit special for me because I was actually in charge of my squadron for this match. Usually the leader of the squadron, Dun Dun, is in charge, but he couldn't make it and handed the reins over to me. So for this video, I'm bringing you guys an official match between my Alamo squadron and the French National Leading Edge Squadron in the first ever Tactical Air Combat Tournament, otherwise known as TACT, hosted by the 64th Aggressors. If you've heard of SATAL, then this won't be too unfamiliar to you, but in case you're new to the scene, I'll explain how things work here. So TACT is a 6 versus 6 squadron versus squadron best 2 out of 3 matchup where teams from all around the world can compete. Now, unlike SATAL, which is an official sponsored event with real prizes, TACT is more of a for-fun tournament for teams to participate in during the SATAL off-season. So what are the rules to TACT? Well, the way to play is that there is a 90 nautical mile diameter bubble between the two teams' airfields, which is fought for in a King of the Hill team deathmatch fight. There are no ground objectives, it is all pure fighter-on-fighter aerial combat. The team that eliminates all the other players and controls the bubble is the winner and has to go and land at the opposing team's airfield for the win to be secured. So fuel management is a big deal in these competitions. Now, once you've entered the bubble, you're not allowed to leave it and enter it back again. However, players can still stay outside of the bubble and fight those inside the bubble and vice versa. All that matters is that the last man standing is in the bubble to claim it and goes to land afterwards. Now, for this tournament, there were a few bans made for the sake of fairness, as there are in a lot of tournaments, including SATAL. Those bans were some limits to the Tomcat due to current desync issues. The low-fidelity Flaming Cliffs 3 aircraft were banned, mainly because the F-15 causing a lot of issues with desync, and as usual in these tournaments, the AIM-9X was banned. If you're wondering why it's banned, it's because the AIM-9X is just too good of a missile in the merge. It basically eliminates any skill both players would have had going into the merge, and is just not very fun or engaging when in a tournament like this. Skill and team play is what matters most, and not how good a missile is. Good on the 9X for being that powerful, but it just has no place in the competitive setting. So, on with the actual match. First, let me discuss the tactics used by Leading Edge against us so you understand why we at Alamo did what we did. And a big thanks to my teammate Emperor for looking over Leading Edge's match with Eclipse Task Force, as that gave us the information we needed to know how to approach this match. So what we were able to pick up from Leading Edge was that they were likely to present a box formation with a heavy lead group. This is a pretty standard formation with a very aggressive look to it. However, what Leading Edge would do was have the 4 lead aircraft preemptively defend first pass shots from the other team as a way to bleed the other team of missiles by wasting up to 4 shots in that first pass. Then the 2 trailing aircraft would be the ones to actually engage at a good range of about 30 nautical miles. Then, after this first pass was completed, they would just be extremely aggressive at low to medium altitude and push us while launching quite a few missiles. If you watch closely to my HSD, or the actual live stream of our match, you'll see that they pushed us up against the edge of the bubble for most of the match. So Leading Edge did a great job at being aggressive. Their only issue in the end was being a bit too reluctant to defend those closer range shots from us. So what about Alamo's tactics? Well, from what we had analyzed, I decided that our team would do a pretty sneaky tactic. Our plan was to have myself and Emperor take long-range shots on the trailing shooters and just let the leaders defend like we knew they would. So we wanted to present an aggressive Stinger formation with 2 leading groups of F-16s and a trailing group of F-18s. However, in reality, the formation would turn into a Vic, which is basically just an upside-down Stinger. So Emperor and I would stay in lead and shoot, while my wingman Dark and Emperor's wingman Mrak would fake a missile shot and defend into each other, and then turn cold and link up with the F-18s, while Emperor and I supported our shots. This would conserve our shots against what we knew would be wasted shots against the leaders, and leave the other team unaware of the real plan. It turned out to work so well that even Tempest, the streamer and shoutcaster of our match, had no idea that was our plan. Alright, so continuing on with the post-commentary, here in a couple seconds we'll be getting our first pass shot on Leading Edge, with both myself and Emperor taking the first pass shots. Emperor was able to score his kill, and now I believe has the longest ranged AMRAAM kill of the tournament. Now, about 47 nautical miles. Really insane long-range shot. I was also able to get my kill on the first pass at about 42 nautical miles. However, unfortunately, because the shoutcaster was paying attention mostly to Emperor's shot, because it was, you know, I don't know, he was just paying attention to his, and Zoltar actually disconnected before the kill message came up. For the entirety of the match, they basically thought that Zoltar had just disconnected from the match while it was going on, instead of me actually killing him. But yeah, I did actually shoot him down, so feels good. But here you can see, if you can see on the radar screen, they do have that box formation with the heavy lead element, and I am targeting the rearmost guy, alright, because the trailer in their group is the one that's going to shoot. Emperor is targeting the other one on the left-hand side, the trailer on that one. So I'm targeting Zoltar of leading edge, and he's targeting Pilatus, I believe it's how it's pronounced, Pilatus Pilot, on the left-hand side. And you'll see us taking our shots here in a few seconds. So yeah, I'm just telling him, let's pitch up for the shot. Emperor took his shot just now. I take my shot at about 42 miles. Now these lofted AMRAAM shots are very, very dangerous. You'll see a lot of people not loft their AMRAAM shots, you know, but manually lofting your missiles, especially when they are on rails, like the AMRAAM is on the F-16, does wonders for the kinetics over long range, because that lofting maneuver bleeds a lot of missile energy, making that turn. Even the real Air Force does it. You'll see there's photos of F-35 Lightnings manually lofting AMRAAMs. So like, this is a legitimate thing to do for long range shots.
I'll shoot behind guy 33. Okay,
my missile's active. I'm defensive.
So here, my missile goes active.
No, you don't.
I'll lock him up.
And I'm just flowing cold. Emperor's flowing cold. Dark is also flowing cold. An issue we had here in this first round was that Marak had actually left his gear down. You'll see an incoming missile that just has no effect at all because I'm already turned cold. But Marak had actually left his gear down for most of his takeoff. Like, it wasn't until halfway to the bubble that he realized that his wheels were down still. So he kind of lagged behind because he had too much drag, and ended up with the Hornets. So our initial plan didn't work out well, but it worked out just fine. Especially because we were able to get those 2 first pass shots and get those kills. So immediately right off the bat, it's a 6-on-4, just overwhelming them, just like that. And we had not really noticed it at the time that it was. I think for most of this match I thought it was a 6-on-5 because I knew Emperor killed his guy. I didn't know I killed my guy.
Yep. Yeah, I did.
So you see you can hear my team. They're taking all their shots on the guys as they are recommitting.
Has anyone targeted the right bandit? Negative 17.
I do have to hand off. Great teamwork here from Dank Guy. He was one of the F-18 pilots. Him and I worked really well. He supported me really well. Coming over to my side, and I supported him, you know, and I made sure to make sure that he wasn't getting himself killed, you know. That's also the difficulty, right, of being a team leader, especially in these competitions, is you have to do a lot of micromanaging, right? So, like, for example, like in Counter-Strike, they actually have coaches, right? They have their 5 players, but then they have a 6th guy as a coach coaching them mid-game on, like, what to do and all that stuff, you know. And but you know, we don't have that. I'm the one having to coach everybody. So unfortunately, you can't hear me, but I am micromanaging my team here and there. But here we go. I lock up this guy. I don't believe I get the
Now
kill.
F-16, yeah. Alright. Turning defensive then because
I've got
So Fox 3 out on him. That's a very deadly missile. You know, within 15 miles, I'm up at 25,000 feet, so very, very dangerous missile.
Angel stand. On left side.
And, you know, it was close enough, I'm fast enough, that missile's going to reach him, that I can just turn cold and not have to really support the missile to active. For those long range shots though, you know, if you're outside of 20 plus, if you're like 25 plus miles away from somebody, you need to support that missile. You can't just launch it and break lock. It's not going to guide itself magically to the target. You need to baby these missiles. So those long range shots, yeah. Here, not so much. I was within 15 miles, so that missile goes active almost instantly.
There's a guy supporting him. 21 vehicles. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap.
Now, for both of the rounds that we did, I basically tried to flank as much as I possibly could, which is why, you can see my team is bunched up down there. However, I am, like, pretty far out. I'm, like, 10 plus miles away from my team while they're all in there supporting each other.
I'm in Mara. I have to.
I think he's turning towards me.
Yeah, I have nails.
Bandit at 18, I'm talking to you.
So, missile's battery finally died, or it just hit the ground.
Who's talking to 12,000? Who's talking to 12,000?
He's running cold, yep.
Alright, yeah, so Dankai, during all that, while I was coming cold, Dankai had to actually come over to my side to help me. As you can see on my HSD, he's coming over to help me with the guy who was tailing me. He was a bit tunnel vision there on the guy that was tailing me, and I had to tell him to turn cold because, as you can see on my HSD, there's a second guy coming in to support the guy that was tailing me. So I tell Dankai to turn cold, I'm recommitting, and I'm going to target the guy who was coming in on him. Although, I don't remember if I shoot.
There's
So here's a Fox 3 at just over 10 miles. I'm up at 15,000 plus feet. Very dangerous missile if he does not defend it properly. As you heard there for a split second, I did actually have a missile come out on me. So, you know, I launch, immediately leave. No need to linger there. If I had stayed hot for too long, that incoming missile might have killed me if I was just too greedy on that kill.
Alright, you have a target coming in.
Fox 3.
Yeah, I see him at 5.
Actually, drag. You have 2 targets coming
So yeah, you can hear that there. Emperor's being a great teammate there, instructing Marak to drag the guy. If you're working with the team, you never want to just 1v1. You never just want to force yourself into getting into a trade situation. You always need to use your team, and one of those things is a dragon bag, right? So even if you haven't shot, you push close to the guy, and then you just come cold. And what that does is it makes the other guy think, hey, he hasn't shot a missile at me, I'm going to keep pushing him, and then he gets into a situation where it becomes a 1-on-2, and, you know, he just can't kill both unless he's just that good. But Leading Edge did a great job at sticking together. You'll see, though, that almost every time they did have at least one guy just separated from the group, which is, as you can see, I'm hunting him right now. So right now there's like a 3-on-4, 3-on-5 situation happening over to the left, and in front of me I'm singling out this guy.
What's this?
I have a guy
11.
11 miles
Just
behind me.
12.
Nope. Accidentally at the chaff.
Okay.
I'm defending.
So yeah, my target's at 15 miles, I'm just pushing him,
You're
This should be
very
missile on me.
close.
Yeah.
and I'm keeping my eye on the left. So you can see there's actually a guy at 11,000 feet hot on me, right? So in this moment, I'm like, okay, you know, I can't just stick on that guy because the other guys are actually getting too close, right? So that other data link contact that's left there, I targeted him. He's not actually looking at me because he got shot on.
To your left. Watch out.
Alright, and then Emperor goes ahead and tells me anyways, because that data link contact was not accurate, so guess what? I go and defend. Ultimately, hindsight, I didn't need to defend like this. I just did it because I had low situational awareness, and that's always what you need to do. If you are low on situational awareness, you need to just go defensive, because the worst thing you can possibly do is enter a fight and have less like situational awareness than your opponent, right? Like if your opponent knows where you are and you don't know where he is, you kind of lost the fight. So I had to turn cold, build a little bit more SA, and I immediately turned back in. As you can see, I'm shrinking my HSD for a little bit more accurate information. I've got nothing on my RWR. Everything on the data link is not facing me, so I'm in the perfect flanking spot.
Yeah, he's cold to us now. I shot at him, but...
And here I've got my guy locked up, and I'm just going to try and chase him down, or just wait for him to recommit into me and then give him a shot.
Just locking the guy.
Dead.
So I'm perfectly safe here to chase my guy down.
No, he...
You know,
Yeah,
I'm about,
Who's that?
what is that, 10 miles cold, so I'm trying to push. Everyone else there, the entirety of leading edge is flowing off to the opposite side of where I'm at, which is great for me because that just means I get to collapse the distance down on more on them in my flanking spot. Yeah, so we still haven't gotten all of them down, but that's what we're working on. And now you can see my guy is actually recommitting. This is bad for him. I believe I get the kill here. So I see him recommitting. Boom, instant Fox 3, 7.5 miles. Very dangerous missile shot against him if he does not defend immediately. You know, but he had no idea I was targeting him, besides being able to, you know, sort of just look at his data link, see that I'm tailing him, and then, you know, stuff. So yeah, I do get the splash there. Great kill. Immediate. Now we're, I think Metro actually, one of our teammates, Metro, did unfortunately get shot down. He just defended poorly. But now it's a 5-on-3 situation, so still that 2-up number advantage. And now we are going to be pushing as hard as possible. So yeah, here we go. Dank Guy's Fox 3 and Fox 2. You can see an actual missile streak coming up from that other guy on leading edge towards Dank Guy. It was a Mad Dog shot. Dank Guy splashes the guy that was right there, and now it's 5-on-2. And immediately I just tell everybody, turn in now, go aggressive, go push them, because we have like 5-on-2. Even if we trade, 1 for 1, we still win. So that's the important part here, is that we have an absolute numbers advantage. We are in a perfect position. We got a nice azimuth spread. They're close up together. So we just need to push them and kill them.
Actually, 10,000 assault, 10,000 assault. I'm targeting 10,000.
I think he's the last guy. Probably the last guy. Well, we're good. We got this.
So at some point there, I think Marak splashed somebody.
There should be.
I think Marak got someone down, so now it's actually 5-on-1. And yeah, each one of us fire a missile at him.
I have visual, he's alive.
Shot me. I have to notch.
Fox 3 for 8.
And I send my own missile out there at about, what is that, 6.5 miles. And the missiles that actually impact and kill this last guy, which I think is the Crepe.
I notched it. Good.
Might not be, but the missile that actually hit Emperor's hit him, and then mine hit him like immediately after and secured that kill. So that's the end of the first round. 5. We lost 1 guy and we won. So score is now 1-0, and that was really good on us. It was they put up a good fight. So now moving on to the second fight, they perform the same tactic as you can see on my FCR, my radar screen. They're setting up that sort of box, almost like a Stinger formation. And we wanted to, instead of doing the same thing we did last time, because we're thinking they're probably going to be prepared for that, seeing as we caught them off guard in the first round, we were just going to do a normal first pass shots on the first guys, because maybe, you know, doing some sort of like reverse psychology, sort of double think. We were thinking that maybe they would try something else instead of having the leaders defend so aggressively. They would actually be more aggressive and take first pass shots on us in order to deter those first pass shots on their trailers. So we wanted to take first pass shots on them, which is what we do. None of our shots connect, so immediately after the first pass, it is still a 6-on-6. However, because of this, the actual flanking that I was attempting to do ultimately worked out even better. If you watch the live stream of our fight, you'll notice that I stay on the top and I'm very, very oppressive from the north. Kind of just like they still push us towards the bubble, but because they were pushing us towards the edge of the bubble, I was able to come around to the side and sort of put the squeeze on them. And it really worked because we just kept trying to pick one of them off now and then. Now in this round, they definitely put up a much better fight. It was not as easy of a fight as the first round was. First round was, obviously we got 2 of them down right from the beginning, but in this one, it was 6-on-6 for most of the time. So here I go with my first pass shot on him. Again, lofting it because you got to get those kinetics. You got to help that missile out as much as you can. Missiles are not magical, except maybe, you know, high off bore sight. Fox 2s are magical, but you know, these are not very magical. You gotta really support them, especially for these long ranges, right? Like 35 miles. 35 miles is a long distance, right? You know, I know there's things with like 50-mile AMRAAM kills, 60-mile AMRAAM kills, stuff like that. And I mean, we got a kill at 47 miles. But, you know, there's a lot of luck that goes into that. And here I actually dropped the lock because I believe I fired on LeCrape. He just notched my radar just naturally in his defense. It's not like he was purposefully attempting that. I kind of just let the closure get away from me there. Over here, I noticed Dark defended with me. He was supposed to defend the other direction, but he defended with me. But it worked out just fine, because then it basically allowed him and I to be with each other and, you know, do a better job at closing in on them.
Are any of them high? Okay, yeah, there's a 30,000.
I have one behind me at 06. He's quite close, actually.
Yeah. One issue that we got here was that Emperor at the beginning here was being pressed really hard. I mean, it makes sense. He was, you know, he's down there over with the most of leading edge. But yeah. As you can hear, you know, Emperor doing a good job coaching Marak and telling him, hey, let's stay cold, let's meet up with the Hornets. Great job, because, you know, you can't just like recommit and then, because over there, you see how many there are? Like, the entire team is over there. You can't just recommit into their entire team without support. So, Hornets are coming in. F-16s, Emperor and Marak are now recommitting. Here, Dark kind of tunnel visioned really hard, and so I had to tell him to turn around, which ultimately saved his life. So he's already cold here, but I had to tell him to turn around, and it did save his life. In his perspective, and in the tournament, the live stream, you can actually see a missile get shot out at him that he had no idea was coming. So I'm going to recommit while Dark comes cold.
Missile is active.
Okay, I'll try to get the guys that are more behind. I'll get 19.
Missile out on you, Hornet, whoever is on our side.
So yeah, one thing you can actually see on the HSD, a little white box. That is a data link contact, and it's actually a data link contact of the AMRAAM that came off of one of those leading edge Vipers. I don't know why, but ED decided to increase the radar cross-sectional area of missiles, and so now you can see them on radar, which is not very cool.
Yep. Fox on the low guy.
Copy.
defending.
I'm getting the fuck.
So, you know, besides that, everyone here is, well, myself, Metro Man,
Someone
Dank Guy,
waiting
and
for Dyer
Emperor
24.
are all older members of the group.
Get out.
Dark
Yeah, both
is
coming out,
a bit newer. He's been here for, I think, maybe a little over a month, maybe 2 months. And Mrak is very brand new, but he's very good.
Who's at 32?
He's surprisingly good, and yeah. So here I do a tiny little lofted shot on somebody at about 17 miles, just to give the missile a little bit more help.
26 blocked.
I don't even know why I'm saying I don't remember if I get the kill. I'm gonna be putting the kills up
Missile on me.
on my video, so you'll see if I kill him.
Box 3 on 27 on right side.
But yeah, I got a missile out on me, so I'm gonna go ahead and burn, get down to the deck.
I'm defending right now. It's on my ass. I'll wait like...
Not all the way down on the deck. I don't want to bleed all my altitude. You never really want to do that unless you're super close.
I'm defending.
So if you're super close to a guy, yeah, you got to get down on the deck. You got to do everything you can to defeat that missile because you're not really going to outrun it. But here, I was more than far enough away from the dude to just turn and burn. You know, not a very difficult defense.
24.
Go ahead and help with
So,
the left side.
Yeah.
in the previous round, I don't think I dumped any chaff whatsoever. I just kinetically defeated all my missiles. But this one, I got into a knife fight with some of these leading edge guys, and I needed to defend super aggressively and just get down onto the deck. So now, missile defeated, immediately recommit. Do not want to waste any time. The more time you spend cold is the less time that the enemy spends cold, basically, is how you can think about that, right? So, the more you're cold, the more they're hot. The more you're hot, the more they're cold,
There's
right?
one.
So here, I'm trying to target and pick off this guy because he's a kind of isolated. He's still very close to his group, but he's just a little isolated, so I'm able to lock him up, try and push him. So actually, he's very isolated. He's well over 10 miles from his group. I forget exactly why I did this. I think I just wanted to... Oh, I know why. It's because I wanted a little bit more separation. I didn't want to go... I didn't want to take a shot to the face from that guy, so I did a preemptive defense while still holding the lock. He turns cold, though, so now I have to reacquire the dude who's hot that's coming to help him, because, you know, good on them for noticing that I was trying to hunt their solo guy down, so he goes back and helps. So here,
Okay, I'm good.
you know, I'm locked on the hot guy, and I hold my shot. Boom, Fox 3, just outside of 8 miles, really trying to get that high PK. You know, but I did start defending. That's the thing you gotta realize. I was defending this missile as soon as that warning hit. I was just trying my best to make sure that I still had a good angle to shoot my missile at him. So here, I believe I just terrain masked this missile. It just hits the ground, and immediately I'm on my recommit, assessing the battlefield on my HSD. I believe I got the kill there. You'll obviously see when I put up the video, or when I put up the TAC view footage of my missile shot. I don't have them up as I'm doing this post commentary. I probably should have. But yeah, that guy disappears off data link, but somebody on my team just so happens to have him on radar, so I go ahead and find him, lock him back up. This one is also one of those... This is probably a good example of one of those knife fights that I get myself into. This guy's all by himself. I get to push him, but he's able to recommit. Oh no, never mind. That was actually a guy... That's the guy that Dark actually splashed, but he ended up trading with him, unfortunately. Just a bit of poor defense and a little bit low situational awareness from him. But no big deal. He traded, which is all you can really ask for, and we already have the numbers advantage. So trading at this stage of the fight is good enough. Trading when you're still even, or trading when you're down a player, worst thing you could possibly do. Let's be like, do not. This one was a bit more risky of a shot. I decided I didn't shoot immediately, and I didn't defend immediately. But I ended up terrain masking this one at the very last second, so thank God. you know, I didn't get myself killed here. I believe this missile actually hit. I believe the guy I shot at was Tigru on leading edge. He actually ate like 2 or 3 AMRAMs before dying, which was just super unlucky. I believe I hit him with this AMRAM, but because of, you know, desync issues and stuff like that, the missile just didn't register. But no big deal. I reacquire him. I lock him up. 4.8 miles. Not exactly in Nez. Very close, but he's, you know, he's running away from me, so that missile's going to have a tough time traveling those 4.5 miles to go and hit him. But here, he's beaming, turning into me, so I wait, lead my shot a little bit, boom. Missile shot at just over, or just under 3 miles, and a missile's coming in at me. I'm immediately going to a notch because I'm not going to outrun that. So go ahead and notch it. It eats the dirt.
Fox 3-4 miles, and I might be slashed here. Splash one.
Yep. And Emperor goes ahead and trades with one of them. As you can see there, you see like two big balls of wreckage falling into the sky. That's Emp trading with his guy.
I'm gonna get the kill in a second.
I believe, I don't remember, I don't think my shot killed. I believe that was another issue with like missile desync or something. Or I believe I did kill him. And here we actually have a, now it's down to 3-on-1, unfortunately. I locked up a dead guy.
I'm getting lost.
And here I kind of lose situational awareness, which, unfortunate for Mrak. I kind of just, you know, I mean, thankfully Dankai and Metro were able to, well, it's a 4-on-1 right now, but thankfully Dankai and Metro were able to go in and support him. But, like, you know, after that close call, I kind of just checked out for a little bit, and bad on me.
I have missile warning.
But,
I'm STT'd on a...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Mrak's down.
No, he killed me.
I go ahead and lock up the guy.
Fox 2 close.
Dankai fires a Fox 2. And there we go, we kill him.
Nice.
So, yeah, that
Yeah,
was...
he was like,
That was
literally
great.
like half
Great fighting. They really put up a good fight in the second round because we weren't able to dwindle their numbers down right off the bat. You know, we weren't able to get those 2 first pass kills and immediately put it a 6-on-4. It was a 6-on-6 fight, very fair, very even, and because they're super aggressive, and we were, especially towards the end when we started trading, you know, that kind of stuff really shows that they do have a lot of skill, you know. So, leading edge, great guys. Some of them have been around for a long time. Lecrape, I believe, is a former Grim Reapers member, which we've scrimmed against before, and he went off and decided to make his own French national team, leading edge. So, they're great guys. Thank you for them, you know, putting up such a great fight, and can't wait to fight them in the future. So yeah, that was basically it for this tournament. I don't think we're going to be moving on because we did have a match before this with Eclipse Task Force. However, we lost against them, unfortunately. Very close matches, or very close games in that match, but we ultimately lost. In this one, we 2-0'd. Eclipse Task Force won both of theirs, so if there's like a, you know, winner's bracket sort of deal, I think they're moving on to that. Yeah, can't wait to do this even more. It's great training, great fun, you know, whole different environment for us, at least in Alamo, because we're so used to 4v4s, these 6-on-6s, 5-on-5s, just higher number fights is just a lot more fun. So yeah, that's it for the video. You know, if you like the video, if you like TACT, you know, you can watch those. They're streamed on, you know, they're streamed via streamers like Tricky Trickster, Tempest, I think 104th Maverick or 104th Deliberator or somebody also streams. I might be getting those wrong, but yeah, these matches are live streamed. You know, so you can watch them. You can also watch them. I'll put a link in the description for the actual stream. It got uploaded. They get uploaded to YouTube, so if you want to watch them, the stream for our match will be in the description. So yeah, just want to thank you guys all for watching. And, if you like the video, leave a like, comment whatever you want. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, yeah, have a nice day.